Welcome to the Middleware Tech YouTube channel. In this series, you'll learn about named query and native SQL code examples used in the videos will be available on GitHub. Let's get started.
Then I'll come with the native SQL, then we'll move it one by one. Let's see how much we can do it. Okay. So before saying anything on named queries, what is named query, why we need named query, how it look like so these things we should focus. So let's see. Let's write first named queries. Control C. You separate example for named queries. We try to use some separate entity like product, okay, or some different entity that we have never used. Named queries. Okay. So what is this named queries and why we need it, right? Now see. Now, when you write any DAO class, what do you write if you're in any particular JT application project? I have this service, right? I will implement. First, we have client, then controller, then we have service, then we have DAO, then the database. If I'm going to implement login, show login.jsp, I'm just writing the basic structure. Then login.jsp is interacting with the controller, login .java. Assume it is your Spring, then you have to use login supporting controller. Then this one is going to interact with your service layer. Login. Assume the implementation as this. Login service.java. And login service layer is going to interact with the DAO layer. And this DAO layer is this login DAO.java. And this DAO layer is going to interact with database. And this login DAO is going to interact with database. And it will be like this. Okay. So this is the flow. Now what I want, you can, if you have multiple use cases, then all the DAO classes will come here because Hibernate will come here, right? Now you can have different DAO like user DAO .java. Then you can have different DAO like EMP and DAO .java, or you can have product DAO .java, right? So like this, multiple DAO classes will come inside this, and assume each and every class contain minimum 4 to 5 methods or 6 methods. Assume this a user DAO class contain 10 method. Okay, EMP DAO class contain 20 method in your enterprise level project. Product DAO contain 10 methods like this, right? Now see, if you have multiple methods inside your class, so each and every method is using SQL that is being filed in the database, right? Now if I want to manipulate some SQL, then I have to go to that particular class, and in that 10 method is there. I have to identify the correct method that I have to customize or modify or manipulate, whatever it is. I have to go to that particular method to manipulate the SQL, right? So the thing is that they came with a concept called named queries. The purpose is that they want to collect all the SQL in one location. The purpose of named query is to collect all the SQL. See, if there is 10 method is using lots of SQL statement 20 method is using lots of HQL statement. So all the HQL they wanted to collect in one location in the top of the class, right? And that is nothing but named queries. How to collect all the HQL statement, right? That is called named query. Using named query, we collect all the HQL in one place. So what I can write here is that named queries, first point is that it is a named queries. I'm talking about this. Control C. What is this named queries? So we can write it is a common place to put all the queries. It's a common place to put in all the queries. Generally, we use class level. So if I put all the queries in a common place, if you put all the queries in a common place, if you put all the queries in a common place, then what is the advantage, right? So we can maintain, or we can manipulate or organize or put as you wish all the queries in a single location. Okay. So, and how we add all the queries with the named query? This is with the help of a particular annotation @ Let's see how it will do it. Assume we have one class. I'm just giving the structure. Assume we have one class. My class name is class user DAO. Assume this is my class. If this is the class user DAO, this is my class user DAO. See, this is my class. Fine. Okay. Now here or EMP DAO. Fine. Now we use this. What we write? We write one particular method inside this class, right? We had multiple methods inside a class. Now what I'll do is that that in this here I have to use one notation called @ named query. Named query. So in the class level. So assume this is your entity, EMP. So @ named query annotation I have used in the class level. So now what I'm doing here, this @ named query annotation, what I'm going to write in our examples, we are going to write HQL. Fine. So to remember that @ named query, it will take two parameters. One is your name of the query. Another is the query itself. Two things it will take: name of the query and the query itself. Right. Right. Okay. So assume you want to fire select star from table name. Assume you have to fire select star from table name, or select star from table name where employee ID equal to 10 or employee ID equal to 20, like this. Right. If I want to fire like this, right? So what should the query? So query equal to, tell me, using HQL from EMP, right? Where EMP ID equal to some value. Based on that, I'm going to select. So assume, so what type of query it is? It is select by ID, right? Or by employee ID, right? So I should write the name of the query left side. So name of the query is select by ID. Select by ID. And write like this: select by ID. Right now select by ID I have just written, and you can put it inside double quotes. Fine, but the thing is that now it is an employee entity. Now we can have product entity, then we have reservation entity, now we have some other order entity. So when you write providing the query name, you should use the entity name before that. So we can write here emp dot select by id, right? So the first part is I'm saying it's just a string. It has no connection with anything else, just a string and meaningful string that I'm using for a particular entity. So it's a meaningful string. Yes, I'm using for emp entity, and the query is select by id. Fine. Now what is the actual query? What is the HQL? Select emp from emp id where question mark. So this is my emp class. So emp class means what? Private int emp id is there, right? Private string emp name is there, right? Then we have private string emp cell is there. Assume it is like this. So already, since you are using annotation implementation, so already since you are using annotation implementation, so already here you will have at the rate entity notation. I don't need to say anything here, right? Okay, and since it is an employee, so we should have this ID column. I'm writing properly so that to see you column annotation. Okay, so this annotation should come for this instance variable also. Control V, name also. And what is there below? Some getters and setters. Some getters and setters, right? So this is my class, right? And if you see, we have used @named query annotation. The purpose is to define the queries at the top of the class level. It's a class level annotation. Correct? Now where I'm going to use it, when I'm going to call it, right? So let's create one project first. Let's create a separate project. Let's get a separate project where I'm going to get the details from this employee, right? So let's create a separate project, right? Okay, sure. Because we have lots of things is coming one by one. So let's create a separate project better to. So let's create a separate project for employee. Fine. Okay. Any annotation project we have done it last time, and I want to copy that. Yes, this is the annotation project you have done it. So copy this, paste it with number 18. Number 18. Right click, paste. Number 18. Hibernate demo 18. Okay. And okay, so this is done, right? Okay. Number 18. So it's creating a simple employee.java. Simple employee.java, delete. So this is my employee class. This one only want to create. So create employee class, Control C. So right click, new class, employee. Fine. Employee. So okay, so this is my employee class. Fine. Now in the employee class, we should add these annotations. Control V. Okay. Now this is a entity. Employee ID, employee name, and employee cell. Fine, done. Okay. Now you should create getters and setters. Right click, source, and generate getters and setters. Select all. Click OK. Right click, source format. Right click source, giant constructor using fields, deselect all, click OK. Okay, done. So employee class is done, and at the top of the employee class, you have to use this named query. Fine, EMP class name is EMP. Now, if you want other table annotation, that also you can use other table annotation. @table. Okay, name equal to EMP. Here is EMP. So it is done, right? Okay. Now the thing is that now we have to know that how to use this named query. Where I'm going to use this named query? I have declared in the top of the class. Fine. So where I'm going to call this named query, right? Where I'm going to call this named query. Fine. So come to the client. Now this is configuration file is good. No, you have to provide a class name. Class name is employee. So that is configuration file. I don't have to do anything in the configuration file. Correct. Fine, right? Okay. Now here in the client.java, I have to insert an employee object. Employee E equal to new employee. Okay. So this employee is a class inside the PP package. So it should import. We have employee. Oh, sorry, EMP. Okay, so this class name will make it as an employee EMP. Or if you want this class, so here slight changes is that right click, refactor, rename, just make it EMP, file name, class name, everything. Done. So I'm creating an object of EMP equal to new EMP. Fine. So let's initialize this just to attribute e dot set EMP ID 1234, e dot set EMP name, just write Nikhil, and e dot set EMP cell, and right here 10,000 dot 00. Fine. Okay. And so then I'm going then I'm using session dot save and using E. So right click, run as Java application. Could not load the class pp.employee. So check where I have written pp.emp. I have to use pp.emp. I have to use pp.emp. So save it. Right click, run as Java application. Okay, so it is saying that employee object created, and you have inserted also, right? So let's see. Select star from EMP. Q dot set should get set I is it like this, and the value like first position, name 1234 1234 1234. It save it. Okay. Method setting is undefined for the type query. Okay, what query have you used here? Okay, don't use this. You have to use the query Hibernate. So this set integer method is there. Fine. So I have used this. It is there. I have passed this parameter. Now, if you pass this parameter, then what I have to get the details. How q.list should return all the details. So this all the details I should put inside a list, right? List of emp e1 equal to q.list, or you can use here el emp list, and you should import this. So when you got this list, what I have to do, I have to retrieve all the details from the list. So system.out.println, and in this list you have only one employee ID, right? Emp list. So let's print it is coming or not. Right click on a Java application. So it's showing the hash code only, right? So what you have to do is that the emp class you have to put to a string. So put to a string, right click, source, get us to a string, click OK, save it, right click, run a Java application. So we can see this EMP object. If you see here, this EMP object is there, and I'm searching this EMP object only, right? 1203, 1234. That EMP object came with Nikhil. EMP salary is this much. And what I'm doing, I'm calling this named query, passing the parameter, and what parameter is calling, and this named query is called, and it is executing, and you can get the output like this, right? Right now here, oh, this is only named query. That is only named query is show if you have multiple named query, you can call that query in the class level, so that all the named queries can manipulate together in a particular location without moving inside the complete class which have multiple methods. This is the very simplest example. Very simplest example how we can talk about named query, right? Okay. Now what we'll do is that now in this example we have used select by query, that is @named query. So we have another option is there. Its name is another thing is there. We'll use the same example to talk about the next one. That is called native SQL. Native SQL. Right? You'll get this term, native SQL. So what does it mean, native SQL? What does it mean? What does it mean by native SQL? Native SQL means see in Hibernate using HQL to interact with the database, because using HQL you are making application database independent. Fine. Now Hibernate can use simple SQL also. Hibernate can use simple SQL also. If you are using simple SQL, you can use it, but it cannot make your application database independent. You can make your application database independent only when you are using HQL. But if I want to implement Hibernate with a simple SQL for a specific database, that also I can do it, right? So what we say is that what is native SQL? What is native SQL? Native SQL is nothing but If Hibernate is using simple SQL statement, that is called native SQL. That's it. Fine, right? What is native SQL? Native SQL is nothing but if you are using Hibernate to use simple SQL, not HQL, simple SQL, that is called native SQL. So we can write here that it is simple SQL used by Hibernate. Native SQL is nothing but simple SQL that is used by Hibernate. Since you are using simple SQL using Hibernate, so they are coming with a separate name that is called native SQL. Right? So that is only. So how I can call this native SQL? How I can call this native SQL? I can call this native SQL with the help of a particular annotation @ named native query. @named native query. This is the annotation. Using this annotation, I can call a native SQL. So if I want to call a native SQL, then how I'll write this code? Control C, same code. I want to write with the help of native SQL. Same like this, same like earlier, Control V, same code I want to write with the help of native SQL. Fine. Same code I want to write using native SQL, then how I'll do it, right? So you have to use the annotation, named native query, named native query. So assume these examples we are doing for select by name. So can EMP select by name, Fine. Query equal to from EMP where EMP name equal to question mark. That's it, right? So this is also will take two parameter. One is name query. So you have to remember that for named query, it will not take two parameter. Actually, when you're using named query, it is using two parameter: name of the query and the query itself. But named native query, it will not take like this. It will take three parameter. One is name of the query, that is select by name. Fine. Second is query. What is the name of the query? Select EMP from EMP or EMP name equal to question mark. Right. What is the third parameter? What is the third parameter? Third parameter is result class equal to means the class on which you are going to apply this query. What is the class name? EMP, right? So EMP dot class, that's it. To provide it like this. Okay. So this is the simple native SQL query, and if you see here this query, sorry, this is the SQL. This is SQL. So I have to use the proper SQL. Select star from EMP. Now in our example, the class name and method name is same, right? So if I'm going to use what is the name of the table? EMP. So I'm using that EMP only. EMP. Select star from EMP where EMP name equal to question mark. Right? So this is what? This is the SQL query. Simple SQL, right? And Hibernate is using this simple SQL query with the help of native query. So if you have multiple SQL query in your class, you can define all the SQL query with the help of this annotation name native query, right? In the top of the class, right? And you can call it from the main class. Right. So let's do it in the same examples. I want to do it and not without, I'm not going in the separate example. In the same examples, we are implementing this native query, right? Right. So in the same examples, if you want to do it. So this is our example just now we have done. Now what I want is that I want to include this one here. See here, I've included this one here, named native query, right? 3 parameter. It has 3 parameter. Done. Okay, save it. Name native query. Import this. Yes, imported. Fine. So name native query. So this simple SQL statement. Now I have to execute it. How? From the main method. So come to the client.java, and here I have to execute it. Right click, format. Okay, this was the last line. So what I'll write to call this native SQL. You have to use query q equal to session, query q equal to session dot get named query, and what is there inside? Check what is the name of the named query you're using. emp.select by name, emp.select by name, control C, right? So here control V, emp.select by name, got it. Okay. Now query q equal to session dot get named query, emp.select by name. Right now we should provide that. How will provide q dot set string, provide a name, right? So only one parameter. So what is the name I wanted to compare? Name is Nikhil, Nikhil, right? So Nikhil I want to compare. So Nikhil I have inserted inside this. So based on that Nikhil comparison, I need to select the complete row. So same thing, just write it. Copy, paste. I should get the complete row based on Nikhil, right? I should get the complete row based on Nikhil, right? And in this scenario, what I'm going to call the native query, and this native query is a simple SQL statement. Select star from emp, where emp name equal to question mark, right? So let's see it is working or not, right? Okay, right click, run as Java application. Okay, so we got so it is working fine. If you see here, the list contain the Nikhil details. Okay, just try to use the second name, Navin, Navin. Try to use the second name, Navin. Okay, so let me execute once again. Right click, run as Java application. Yes, we got the Navin details. So it is working fine based on the name that you are providing with the help of named query with the native SQL. These are the details of emp name Navin from database, and you can see the details. It is it's working fine, right? Okay.